Hello, hi, and welcome to Skipping the Small Talk with Empower Autism, a podcast where we discuss everyday experiences, autism and family advice, and more. My name's Riley, and I'm here today with Forrest.
Hello, I'm Forrest. My pronouns are he, him, and I have a special interest in wolves.
Currently, when we're filming, it's June.
Fun month.
Yeah, very fun month. For anyone who doesn't know, June is Pride Month.
Wow!
Pride Month is an interesting topic.
Yeah.
It's obviously there's a lot of contentious elements to it, a lot of fun elements as well.
Yeah.
This episode we thought we'd talk about a little bit of a 101 history of LGBT experiences and identities, because there's a lot of LGBT people in the autistic community.
There's quite an overlap.
There's a big overlap.
Nice Venn diagrams, like kind of nearly a circle.
Yeah. Not all LGBT people are autistic, but a large portion of autistic people are LGBT.
Yeah, which is a very, it makes it very nice when you're meeting other queer people. It's like, you and I, we're on a frequency.
Yeah. But yeah, we thought we'd talk about just the basics of that sort of thing, because there's people who are autistic who don't necessarily know a lot about LGBT identities, but maybe you want to learn a bit more, expand your horizons, support other people in your community, because we are all part of the autistic community, and it's great to include everyone within that.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start off? Do we want to talk about Pride Month a little bit?
Yeah, why not? I mean, probably my personal experience with Pride Month was then when I discovered the LGBTQ plus community, and then subsequently discovered I was a part of it. I was like, Pride Month is the month.
Yeah.
This is exciting, this is fun. And I was 14.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of younger teens experience that, where they're like, there's a sense of pride in having a month to represent a part of yourself that is so important, especially, when you're discovering who you are. So I remember being really excited about Pride Month, and then it's kind of just slowly become like, it's Pride Month.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, the reason this episode is coming out a little bit later in the month is that I did forget Pride Month was happening until the week before.
Oh my
god. That's next week.
Oh, whoopsies.
So that is my bad. But yeah, Pride Month is something that is rooted in a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Freedom to express yourself and be proud of your identity is really great, and having a specific time where
it's recognized.
Yeah, you have more permission.
Yes.
Sort of.
And it's more recognized by the broader communities of people who might not be so associated with LGBT plus people. So it's kind of our opportunity to be like, hey, we're here. And for them to be like, yes, you are. Yeah. And we are okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Yeah. And historically it's been great for pioneering for LGBT rights and things like that, and visibility on social issues.
Yeah.
There is maybe not the flip side, but another part of Pride Month, which has maybe become
a bit more prevalent
recently. Yeah. Which is maybe organizations and brands and stuff like that putting up some rainbows, saying Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. And
that's it.
Yeah, and it's not that it's bad that they're doing that. That's kind of you see the rainbows and you think, great, rainbows are a sign of safety within the LGBT plus community. It's not just a symbol that we've claimed ourselves. It is whenever I'm around and I see people with at Kohl's and Woolies, they have little rainbow stickers on the name tag sometimes, and I'm like, I know that you are either an ally or a part of the LGBT plus community, and that makes me feel safer. Yeah. Knowing that that's around. But then also, obviously, it's what else are you...
We could do more.
Yeah, what else is happening?
Yeah.
With the state of things currently, what else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk maybe to some of the older people in the autistic community.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the non-LGBT people.
Yeah.
Some of the straight people.
We're reaching out.
Yeah, because there's a lot of questions that people sort of want to ask but don't necessarily have anyone to ask.
Yes, or don't feel safe asking because they're scared of causing offense.
Yeah.
Or they're afraid that they'll say the wrong thing.
Yeah, and it really depends on the person.
It really
you're
does.
talking about.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm kind of happy to answer any questions.
Me as well. I always consider myself like, obviously because I'm going into education, I've always considered myself an educator. So I'm kind of like, whatever questions you have, as long as you're asking them respectfully, that I am so willing to answer.
Yeah.
Like, I get people all the time in high school after I came out, and it would be kids who like would otherwise have disregarded me, being like, hey, can I ask you a genuine question? I don't want to be rude, I'm just curious. And I'd be like, yes. Oh my God, yes, ask the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here to answer. You are genuinely curious and I'm willing to like meet you halfway.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. It's just about being curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're being respectful about it and coming from a place of genuine like curiosity and empathy and like wanting to support someone.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. Some people are not necessarily in that same situation. And we find that quite invasive or quite stressful.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend going up to strangers and asking people questions. But in this situation,
you've got two people who are very willing.
We're here to answer your questions.
Yay.
We're going to go through a couple of maybe more basic questions to
Yeah.
start with. If people have more questions, feel free to put them in the comments.
Yes.
We'll answer them.
We'll answer them.
Yeah. One of the things that I kind of hear in the office most is people talking about the LGBT acronym.
Acronym.
Lots of questions about the acronym because there's a lot of different versions of it.
Yes, there are, especially in the modern day, which obviously means that like an expansive knowledge and a lot of different perspectives and opinions on that. Obviously, the basic history of the acronym is that it started as the GLB Alliance.
Yes.
In probably America.
Yeah, I would say 1960s.
Yeah, and around then, which stood for gay, lesbians, and bisexuals.
Yes.
So no T yet.
No.
And then after the AIDS crisis and after the Stonewall movement, but especially after the AIDS crisis, it became the LGBT Alliance because of the lesbians who stepped up and took care of all the gay men who were suffering from AIDS.
Yes.
And then it kind of just went from there. We added the T, and then more people were like, hey, I don't fit the norm of being straight, but I'm not LG or B, I'm kind of this other thing. And so it, for a long time, for me at least, was LGBTQ, and then also a plus.
Yeah.
So that's where I've always been at. That's where I'm always just like LGBTQ plus. That's the shortest version that I've found, and it's the easiest for me to just spit out real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, and I get this a lot, people being like LBWQZY. And that's mostly from people who are like either trying to get a rise out of me or like are just being ignorant for the sake of being ignorant. It doesn't really work because I'm just like, I can just tell that you're not really putting in any effort, so that's alright. I don't care.
Have to know, like, there's a lot of different variations of the acronym. You don't have to know all of those LGBTQ or LGBT plus or LGBTQ plus.
Yes.
They're all fine.
Those are fine because the Q and the plus are all encompassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just like we recognize that this is the acronym, and then this little plus is for the rest of the community, which is large. And because it's so large, we can't include obviously every single letter because it would be just the alphabet probably.
Yeah. People do use longer versions of the acronym.
Absolutely.
It is like, it's not useless. It's, especially if you're talking about, a specific part of the LGBT community.
Like if you are like in the health industries for gender services specifically, and you're like got a lot of people who are intersex or just gendered people in general, you can get LGBTQI or LGBTQIA.
I think another one that is used a lot in Australia at least is brother boy and sister girl.
Yes, because of our Aboriginal and Australian population.
Which is obviously specifically relevant.
Yes, to them.
Here.
Yeah, because I don't think, other indigenous populations might have different terms, but for us specifically, it's brother boy, sister girl, which is really cool. I only found out about that like within the couple of recent years.
Yeah, no, I think it's included in there. One to like signal to brother boys and sister girls that this is like a safe space for you, but also because a lot of people don't know about those identities.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be a conversation
Yes,
about
oh
that.
my god, yeah. Which we are not.
Yeah, I'm not.
We are not
I'm not qualified
the
for that
people to be
conversation.
doing that conversation. But like, it would be very awesome.
Yeah, so you should definitely look into it. Go talk
Yeah.
to actual Indigenous people.
Yes, and use Indigenous main resources because they are the most accurate.
I will say the one version of the acronym that is used, which is maybe not so much with love, is just LGB.
That's been coming a bit more relevant.
That's
in
been
recent
coming up.
years.
Would not encourage the usage of that
Yes,
because
the erasure of the T is a little significant right now.
trans people are kind of being targeted by legislation. And,
Yes,
and discrimination
in a
quite
lot
bit
of
at the
different
moment.
countries,
Yeah.
including Australia, which is
Yes.
unfortunate, and not something that I love to see, obviously. So yeah, the T is kind of important right now.
Yeah, what I would say is be open-minded,
Yeah.
be kind to trans people.
Yes. Be curious.
Yeah.
Be
And
curious.
if someone like presents their identity to you, like that's about them. That's their
Yeah.
lived experience that has
Yeah.
no real impact on anyone else besides them.
Yeah.
The least you can do is like take them at their word for it.
Yes, exactly. And just just believe them.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you're like interacting with a teen and your teen is like, hey, I think I'm feeling like this. And maybe they're not sure, but they're willing to trust you with this part of themselves, especially with the whole teens are so shut off, but like, it's not that they're shut off, it's just that they're choosing who to trust in this moment of discovery. And so if you are, lucky enough to be chosen to be trusted, it's not something that is easily given as a teen. I know it took me ages to tell my parents about myself, and there wasn't like any real like bad things that could happen. I just knew that like there could be like there was some like differing opinions basically. And now that I am out, they know and they know better. And that was quite lovely.
It's hard even if you think your parents are like
Chill with it.
nice, like you love your parents and stuff like that. But if this isn't like a topic that you've spoken to your parents about before, you don't know how they're going to react.
Exactly.
And you have to go off of like what media tells you and what other people in your life
And
tell
media
you.
typically depicts trans people as having bad experiences with their parents.
Yeah, because you work with our autistic community quite a bit. Do you have any stories that you wanted to share, like explaining your LGBT identity and how that's interacted with your experiences with our autistic community?
It has definitely made me a person that is very approachable, I feel, because I am kind of like a trifecta. I'm a young person, I'm LGBT plus, and I'm neurodivergent. And so like, for example, at the Careers Day Expo that happened recently that I was working at, there was a lot of high schoolers around, and they would like see Empower Autism as a banner across it and probably be like, oh, autism, I know that word. And then they'd like, I guess like my assumption is they'd see our table with like the fidgets and stuff and be like, ooh, that looks cool. And then they'd see me with like, my hair was like a lot brighter at that point, and like I had the sweater on with like a paw print on it and stuff. And they were like, a lot of people like coming up to me and being like, oh, I love your hair dye, your hair color, which I've kind of associated with like a secret like kind of code. Very subtle kind of like, hey, I see you.
A lot of LGBT people tend to also be alternative.
Yes, very.
With like clothing styles and things like that.
And so like seeing somebody who's like up like under the Empower Autism like banner that they're seeing at the table, they're like, oh, that's not just like some random organization, that's somebody who is kind of like me. So that's been nice. And then obviously like at the peer groups, there is a few LGBT plus kids that come in each week, and I feel like I've been able to be like a good, like a not so much a role model, but just like an example of like an adult who is LGBT plus and autistic and is getting through life. Because I remember like being a teen and being like, I don't really see that much. It's definitely gotten better in recent years, especially representation in media. But I was like, do do I get the opportunity to grow old? Like, is that an option for me?
Yeah.
Because I just never really see it. But now I'm kind of like, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I get to grow up.
Going through high school, you know, all kinds of schooling areas, as an autistic person is hard, and then going through high school as a queer person is also quite hard. So having those two things.
Doing it together.
Am I going to make it out the other side?
Yeah.
And, like, what does the world look like for me?
Yeah. What are my options? Because I do not fit the norm.
No. And even like when I was like 1 or 2 years out of high school, being able to say like genuinely like it does get better. It's so much better.
Oh my god, yes.
High school sucks.
High school is the worst.
The rest of the world is not like that.
No. It is just the forced proximity of hundreds of children in the one place for 6 hours a day, every day, for 40 weeks a year. I think it just makes people crazy.
Yeah.
And I am going into education and becoming a teacher, so like I'm like, woohoo! I get to be on the other side of this now. And yeah, it's like people aren't gonna always be like that, and there's a certain amount of like maturity that you gained as soon as you graduate. Like, I don't know what it is. It just comes with graduation, I guess. A lot of people that I've run into in high school that I never would have talked to will be like, "Oh, hey, Forrest, how you been?" And I'm like, "Hello, person." You wouldn't have talked to me in high school, but here we are, I guess. But I obviously don't say that out loud. And that's the other thing. Community tends to flock to community. So if you're like, I always make the joke, like if you're like a straight neurotypical person and all of your friends are neurodivergent and LGBTQ+, maybe there's something there.
I mean, it might not be. But
It might not be. Oftentimes though, again, community flocks to community.
Well, it's the same thing of like being like, oh, why are all my friends autistic? Why does this keep happening?
Oh, you've been just diagnosed? Wow, God, that's cool, but like, what?
Like you share lived experiences and you share communication styles, ways of seeing the world and things like that. And obviously people flock to people who are similar to them. And if you don't have labels for that at that time. People also have pronoun badges a lot of the time.
Whoa.
You're rocking a really cool pronoun badge at the moment.
Because obviously camera, but also for the listeners, it's a frog with a rainbow hat and he, him below it. I love it.
It's very cool.
I got it, I think this year, maybe last year at Pride Fest in Mountain Bay. Props to that.
Because that's like another thing that people are unsure about all the time when they're getting to know LGBT people. Especially trans people, obviously.
Yes, it is. And obviously a lot of people are like, again, afraid of offending, so don't know how to ask. The simplest way is to just ask, hello, what are your pronouns?
Yeah, it's a good way to introduce yourself.
Yes.
Even if you're a cis person, cis being the opposite of trans.
Yes. So somebody who was born their gender they still identify as.
Yes. Even if you're not trans, and you're like, hey, people can probably guess my pronouns by looking at me. It's still good to like introduce yourself with your pronouns.
And it gives it opens up the floor for other people who might be trans to be like, oh, okay, that person used, like you said, their name or pronouns. I can say my name or pronouns, and it's not weird.
Yeah, because it's also like trans people who are passing.
Yes.
Who like might not want to out themselves as trans because they're not sure if it's safe or not. And then if someone else like says their pronouns, they're like, okay, it's safe
for me to say mine without being questioned.
Yeah.
And that's why I was doing uni when we're doing like the icebreakers at the beginning of the semester. I'm just like they'll be like, your name and like a fun fact about you, and I'm like, okay, my name's Forrest. My pronouns are he, him, and this is my fun fact. Like it's always just it's just so simple to just tack it on.
Yeah, it's good online as well. Like,
yes, definitely.
People can't see your face and things.
Yeah.
Like, how they know.
Some people have ambiguous names.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to be like, my name, and in brackets, these are my pronouns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it makes me feel like when I see it on social medias as well, if people have their pronouns listed in like their bios, or Instagram now has a feature where you can like, it's in your name tag now, which is pretty cool. When I see that, I'm like, I know this person is at least cool.
And everyone has pronouns.
Everybody does.
Pronouns are a part of the English language.
It is. Pronouns also go outside of like he, him, she, her, they, them. It's like you, I, us, we. Basic primary school stuff.
People talk about people complain about they them pronouns.
Yes, being like, oh, but it's not for singular use. Okay, when has the English language ever followed rules? Firstly,
also it is for singular use.
Yes, we use it for singular use all the time without it being for non-binary people.
There's I think the example I hear all the time is like, oh, someone left their keys behind.
Yes, or like you're on the phone and it's like, oh, the doctor called, they said this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know the gender of someone, you say that probably without even realizing it.
Yeah, but it's only because non-binary people are like, hey, I want you to use they them for me all the time. That people are like, no. And I was like, hey, it's okay. Like, you probably already do it.
And like you're saying, the English language is constantly changing. Language is always changing.
Oh my gosh.
And it's kind of beautiful. Also on the topic of pronouns, people sometimes get confused about people using multiple sets of pronouns.
Yes, that's a big one.
Different people have different preferences.
Yes.
Then usually it means a person likes a mix of both pronouns.
Yes, or is happy for you to use both sets of pronouns. So like, I mean, the most common I think is he, theys, and she, theys. So if somebody has like, I mean, for example, mine says he, him, but some other people's it might say he, they, or she, they, obviously. So like, it's literally just, you can use she, her pronouns, and you can use they, them pronouns for me. And it is as simple as that. You can use either. Yeah. And you can use a mix of the both. I typically tend to mix it up.
I love to mix both in one sentence.
It's so
I think
much
that's
fun.
really fun.
Yeah, it's just so much fun.
I think most people enjoy that.
Yeah.
If someone gives you multiple sets of pronouns and then you proceed to only use one set of their pronouns, that's not ideal because they are explicitly saying, I like both of these.
I like these both.
Sometimes people will do like they, he, or they, she, which
means like it's kind of indicating that like they are more leaning towards they, them pronouns than the binary he or she pronouns. Which is perfectly valid as well.
Yeah. Some people use all pronouns.
Yes.
Some people prefer different pronouns at different times.
Yes. Depending on the day and how they're feeling, it can change up. It really just depends on the person. If they say to you like, hey, like these are my pronouns, but it will change. So like I can either let you know or you can keep asking. That's something that can just be established. Yeah. Some people have like a bracelet system. Yeah. Which is pretty cool. So like on a certain day if they're wearing like a blue bracelet, masculine pronouns, or like yellow is like non-binary pronouns. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's cool. And if you do mess up, that is okay. People mess up. Mistakes happen.
Yeah. You don't need to make a whole big deal out of it.
Yeah.
It's just about being like, whoops, sorry, my bad.
And then
I'm gonna correct myself.
And then correcting it and then keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get a lot of older adults who are interacting with me being like they'll, use she, her for me and I'll be like, he, him. And I'll be like, oh, it's just so hard. It's this thing and it's all new and it wasn't around when I was younger. And like, firstly, probably was. Secondly, it's okay, I don't care. Yeah. And like, as long as it was a genuine mistake, it wasn't malicious, and you are actively trying to use the person's correct pronouns. Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes. You also don't need to like profusely apologize about it. Like, it's okay, it happens. And funnily enough, as trans people, when other trans people come out to us, it will take us a little bit to get used to the new pronouns. We get it wrong sometimes too. We get it wrong too. We are
like people changing names and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's okay. And trans people mess up too. It's okay.
Yeah. I feel like those are kind of the main
those are the main basics, I think.
That people get it, how you can like support queer people around you. It's really just about being kind and respectful.
Yes, being curious and knowing that the internet is a free resource.
Yes, you can always ask the internet.
Always ask the internet. And if you're like too scared to ask in person, I'm sure there's a Reddit forum.
Yes, Reddit, honestly.
Reddit is honestly a pretty good source for information.
Yeah, we wanted to, as a closing thing, we wanted to shout out a wonderful LGBT organization.
Brisbane based, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Open Doors Youth Service. Don't get it confused with the Open Doors Youth Service, which is a Christian organization as well.
Yeah, the one with all the rainbows in it.
All the rainbows in it. Look.
Open Doors AU a lot of the time.
Yes. They're based in Fortitude Valley, and they have a lot of social groups that are welcoming to a whole range of different people. And they also provide a lot of help when it comes to people with their transition, especially monetary help. I was able to get my name changed through them because that was quite expensive, and I'm a beauty student.
It's quite expensive.
It's kind of insanely expensive. So That was one of the most recent steps in my transition was getting my name legally changed, especially before I became a teacher. That was my main goal. And they were able to help out with that and paid for the entire thing and took me to the registry and laid out the process for me so that it was easy to understand, because paperwork is terrifying.
Yes. Yeah, they've got some good education pieces.
And they do. There was a parents forum at one point. They welcomed parents of LGBTQ plus kids, and and were like, hey, if you have questions, come on. We're welcoming. And it was pretty cool. One of my friends' moms went, and she said that it was very informative. Very good.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more, go check them out. Thank you for watching this Pride episode. Skipping the small talk. Thank you for joining me on short notice as well.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine. I was like, I love yapping about this.
Yes. There's so many things we could have talked about.
Oh my god, there's so much.
There's stuff on the basic level that we could talk about. There's a whole other side of that.
There's so much more in-depth stuff we could have talked about, but that's okay.
That's okay. We'll get there.
We covered some good stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
Well, thank you for joining me.
That is okay.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.